This particular video is going to take a quick look back, actually at a review of what we did first semester with the transformations. So if you think back what we did first semester with the inside versus outside, when these functions are written in vertex form, which you see is right here below us, you can actually see the transformations pretty easily, right? So you see A right here, A is outside, which means it's a vertical move. So remember, if A is above 1, that's going to be a vertical stretch. If A is between 0 and 1, in other words, if it's a fraction, like 1/2, 1/3, that's a vertical compression. Right? And then H. H is quote unquote inside of that function, right? So the original function was x squared. We put the H inside, so it's horizontal and it's backwards, right? So remember, inside was horizontal and backwards. Outside is a vertical move, and everything is exactly what it sounds like it is. So H being inside means it's going to be left to right, or I should say left or right. But remember, you move in the opposite direction of what you're thinking. It's backwards. What effect does K have? Well, K is going to move it up or down. So I think as soon as we do a few of these, you guys are going to start to remember how this worked. So the original one was x squared. What happens when we do the x squared plus 5? Well, that 5 is outside, so that's going to move it up 5. This 2 is on the inside, so it's a horizontal move, and it's backwards. So plus 2 makes it seem like it's going to go to the right, but it actually goes backwards, so it's left 2. The minus 9 is inside, which means it's horizontal and backwards. So minus 9 means we're really going to the right 9. The minus 4x squared, one of the things that's not sitting here on the table, if a is negative, right, and that should be sitting here, if a is negative, um, remember what that does for us. That's a vertical reflection. That's going to flip it over the x-axis. So again, that's stuff that we've discussed in here before. So we can see we've got the negative 4. So we got two things happening. One, it's a vertical reflection, followed by, since that's 4, it's going to be a vertical stretch times 4. Here, the minus 3 is on the outside of the x squared, so that's going to move it down 3. 1/3 x squared. So here's one of those, it's being multiplied. So this is a vertical move because it's outside, and that's actually going to be a vertical compression by 1/3. Plus 2 is on the inside, which means it's a horizontal move. That's going to send it to the left 2. The minus 3 is outside, which means it's going to go down 3 because that's a vertical move. Remember the order for all of these. This is also something that's probably worth remembering. It's like when we got out of bed in the morning, right? The first thing you want to do is reflect on a good night's sleep. Then you want to get a good stretch, and then you translate slash slide out of bed. So let's take that back down here to the bottom. Before we can move this thing to the left 4, before we can slide it, we need to deal with the 2 first. So the first move is a vertical stretch times 2, and then we're going to move it to the, to the right 4, because that 4 is on the inside, so we're going to go backwards. Here we got a lot going on. We have a plus 1 here, we have a negative, and we have the 1/2. Follow the order. The first thing you want to do is reflect if it's there. There's a negative, so it's a vertical reflection. Followed by that 1/2. That's a vertical compression by 1/2. And then finally, that plus 1 is outside, so we're going to move it up 1. And then 3 moves here. We got the negative, we have the minus 4, we have the plus 2. Well, the 4 and the 2, those are both slides, right? That's going to slide it to the right 4 and up 2, but we need to reflect before we can get out of bed. So we have a vertical reflection because of the negative, right? That's a vertical reflection. It's going to be followed by the right 4 up to. So right 4 up to. So at this point, go ahead and flip through the next couple pages. And if you look on page 13, if you want to go ahead and get this chunk of the homework out of the way, just tell me what transformations are happening based on what you see there. And again, might be worth writing down on this page the order you want to reflect, you want to stretch, and then you want to slide or translate.